All right, so a little Haven update, a little case study, and you guys are probably gonna learn a lot from this one because this month, we're on the right direction finally. Over the past couple episodes of this series, there's been so many different issues arising, especially while I was traveling, but things finally seem to be taking a turn in the right direction. So this last month, September 1st through September 30th, it finally just finished up. We ended at $188,406 in revenue, so up 29% from the previous month. And there's been some good changes and some really good insight, and a lot of things that I was testing that would probably be beneficial if you are in this position where you're wanting to start or scale a store, they all kind of just apply to you, which I'm gonna show you guys in depth throughout this entire video. I'm just gonna reveal everything. So the total orders was 2,049, which is pretty good. Again, more orders, more revenue makes the most sense. Returning customer rate is up 13%, which is good, to 18.24, which honestly is a really good sign because this is a brand that we eventually want to exit. It's not something that we just want to drop ship for 30 days and milk it as much as we can. We want to be able to build this into an actual brand. And if we go down to the average order value at $93.19, up 1.3%, so it's pretty consistent around the same amount pretty much every single month. Conversion rate is slightly up at 2%, which is okay, but the overall conversion rate is 2.8%, which is good. Conversion rate is something I want to show you later on in the video too, because these things that I'm testing for you guys, I think are really going to help you out. So overall, pretty good month. Inventory is getting back in stock. There's some issues going on with it in different ways, but all in all, the month ended just shy of $200,000. All right, so the first thing that I want to show you are the website changes that were made. I'm always constantly just changing the website, testing new things, colors of buttons, like down to the nitty gritty. It's so important because if you don't test it, you don't know if it's actually going to perform better or worse. And you might sacrifice some conversion, for a couple hours or a day, but as you continue to test, something is going to be better than the other thing. So it's so important to do that and continuously A/B test all the time. All right, so I did some revamping on the website, got a lot of new photos back that I was able to use. This is the desktop version, so it doesn't really matter, but it looks a lot cleaner. So if you look at the mobile view of it, it's pretty straightforward, it's simple, it's clean, there's nothing too fancy about it, there isn't anything that needs to be super fancy about it. You just want people to look at it and feel like it's a premium website and that they can trust it, and that's gonna help with your conversion rate. So making these changes and updates as you get more photos, add new apps, new layouts that you like and see on other websites, it's always great to just keep updating the website. What I did this time around compared to last time was I just switched a lot of the layout and removed some things that were kind of unnecessary and then impacting page speed. I was diving in so heavily to page speed because allegedly every second that's added onto your page speed results in a 7% conversion drop or even higher. I don't even know the statistic, but it's really important. So if your website's really slow, people just get bored, especially if you're scrolling on TikTok or Instagram, they're probably just gonna drop off. So the price and all this stuff at the top here is the same. I did optimize the images with Tiny PNG. It's a website that you can just plug in your product photos and it reduces the size, it compresses them to make it a little bit faster. So I did all of that. I also updated a lot of the photos to real model shot photos from the photo shoots that we've been doing, and then some testimonial, lifestyle ones. So I think that looks super, super clean. And then we've got the same layout up top here. Under this, I really went into the marketing angles. The thing that I always consistently preach, if you've watched any of my other videos, is that, when they click on an ad for a specific marketing angle, it's really important to emphasize it in the landing page too, just to double down on it and make sure that they understand that's why they clicked on the ad. So I put in a tagline here saying the polo for true patriots, which makes sense because it is a kind of political shirt. And so this used to be there. This was up top here. And so it's kind of a little abrasive in my opinion. And so I switched these two to put this by the add to cart. I thought it'd be nice to have it by the price because if it's too high for people, then it's meh. They might scroll away, but you can pretty much see this right as you scroll down. So that was my reason behind that. Of course, we've got the normal size charts. There's nothing special there. This was just moved down here. I did remove some of the reviews and testimonials right here. They were taking too long to load. And then also it was just kind of messy with a lot of words. So I really just simplified it. I literally just removed them. We've got the description here now below that, and it's kind of emphasizing the marketing angle once again. Added the new photos as well here with the you might also like section. Added a sticky cart as well, which is kind of nice. So you can see the conversion rate, again, going back to the analytics for this month that we're talking about, was 2.8%. Yesterday was the first full day that I switched it up, and now look at this, 3.4%. It doesn't even seem like that many changes, but that's a massive, massive conversion rate increase. That's actually how simple it is to change your store from not really converting or unprofitable to breaking even and then to profitable just by making small changes and testing them. To show this even further, this is kind of the nerdy side of things, but Again, it is important. If you look at like the page speed, which I was talking about earlier, it's very, very important. And you can see all the metrics here on the theme are good, and a good CLS, whatever it's called. I don't really know all the technical terms. I just know this is good. It's a fast theme. If you're wanting to switch up some of these things to speed up your website, one is the theme. Two is that there's a website where you can plug in your URL and it tells you what needs to be improved with your page speed. It's a free thing from Google. So you just go on pagespeed.web.dev and then you plug in your product or your URL, and then it analyzes it for you. It'll tell you if your core web vitals are passed. If they're not passed, then you definitely have to get the theme that I'm using. It's free also, by the way. I'll talk about that in a second. But then it diagnoses your performance issues and gives you a score. And so as this is loading to show you guys what that actually like does, if you do want that free theme, it's the exact same one. I partnered with Shopify on this, and as well as Zendrop. It's completely free, it takes 5 minutes. I'll drop it down below in the description. You can pick whatever niche. It's built on the exact same theme as mine. And then what's also super nice about it is that if you get it through that software, it'll already be linked in your app section. It'll already link your products for you. And then if you want to add new products, you just do it in the Zendrop platform. They're the supplier I've been using forever. We have scaled so much with Zendrop that we are moving to the 3PL of Zendrop. So if you're doing over like 50 orders a day, it's kind of better to order in bulk and then send it to their 3PL. And you also get extremely fast shipping times. So we get like 2 to 4 day shipping times maximum. It's usually around like 2 to 3. So we're sending all of our product over to the 3PL in Miami, and then they take care of all of the fulfillment for you. So you don't have to do any of that at all. It's just all automatically handled for you. And even if you're not using the 3PL and you're just a beginner, it is the exact same process. You would go into your orders and then you'd click auto fulfillment and it would just be done for you. You don't have to think about it at all and focus on marketing and conversion rates. That's made everything a lot easier just to not have to worry about that at all. So if you want to get that free store, have Zendrop already linked onto it for you. Then again, that will be down below in the description. This is completely free because I'm a partner with Shopify and they pay me to train you guys. It's a win-win for everyone. All right, so going back to the page speed insights, it's gonna give you a URL breakdown that you submitted. And I'll tell you all the things that you need to fix. All you have to do is click on one of them. And I don't know what any of this means. I don't develop at all. So I just paste this into ChatGPT and it tells me how to fix it. And honestly, a lot of it was like images. We had like really heavy, dense, large file size images. So I just kind of like reduced all of them, and that definitely helped a lot. All right, so enough of that, because that's just kind of boring. Let's go into the ads. So if you're struggling with ads, listen up to this section. So here are all the ads that we're running. Most of the ad campaigns that you can see here during this month are audience testing. So broad is generally the best when you're testing out a product. But when you start to scale and you have 20,000 orders on the store already, you start having to kind of manipulate some of the audiences a little bit. So it's super interesting to start testing these and seeing which ones are doing better. And you can see some of them are really good, $20 up into the $50 range. And again, we have an AOV of like 95, 100 on average. So these are all profitable, of course, but sometimes you have to sacrifice a lot of money to figure out which ones don't work. So if you scroll down, you can see, look at all this amount spent on these, and they're all off. So I was just testing. So I'm throwing away all this money. I'm not maximizing profit because again, we have profit. I'm just trying to basically spend money to test, to get data back, and then figure out what is the best combination, then throw all that money at it, especially with Q4 being here now. And we can break down some of the ads here. So this is a newer one that's doing pretty good. Again, I like image ads a ton. They're very cheap. They convert very well. I think they're more scroll stopping nowadays than video ads. Video is everywhere. So if you're sleeping on image ads, you definitely shouldn't. They are extremely converting and they are really easy to create, especially if you're a beginner and just starting and you're testing products. But something I found super interesting that I was talking about in Conversion Club in a meeting actually this morning was the audience testing and the ABO testing versus CBO testing. I'm a firm believer in ABO testing. If you don't know what that is, there's a campaign level, there's the ad set level, and then there's a creative level, which you can see here. So like this would be the campaign. Ad set underneath that, where all the targeting is done, is right here. And then the creative level is where your ad creatives are. And what I was talking about in the Conversion Club meeting was I love testing with ABOs because it gives every single ad creative a fair chance and every single ad set a fair chance. Because you're allocating spend at this level rather than the top level and letting Facebook decide where to spend all that money. And a perfect example of this is literally this campaign right here. If it was in a CBO with like 15 other creatives, Facebook would early on determine which one it thinks is performing the best. And it usually isn't, in my opinion. And I have some data to back this up. So on the 24th, Budget was $250 to test this ad. It's an ABO, and it was split between these two creatives. Facebook thinks it's smarter than everyone and says, this one's the best. I'm gonna spend the most money here. I'm gonna spend $100 here and not as much here because this one is best. I got early indications. So throwing all the money there, $50 cost per purchase. Okay, it's not bad for the first day, it's whatever. Go the next day, things start to switch up. So this image ad now gets $113 and this one has 85. So it flip-flopped a little. And look at that lowered. This also lowered. We go to a couple days later, after it starts optimizing even more, all of the spend completely flipped. $210 now on this image ad. And look at the cost per purchase, 26 bucks. Go the next day, $23. Next day on the 30th, $21. It keeps lowering. Now imagine if you were testing new creatives and testing a new product with 15 ad creatives, it would take a ton of money and forever to have Facebook figure this out later on down the road, hopefully. So I think it's super important to test ABOs, isolate all of your spend when you're doing your tests. Just my opinion, it's always worked for me. But I just wanted to point that out because it was a topic in the meeting this morning in Conversion Club. And also if you want to join that Discord, it's in the description. And the second part of the Facebook ads I want to talk about, we're on Shopify Plus. So I'm testing out Shopify audiences that they provide for you and it integrates with Meta. What I found to be super interesting was I was testing out some different audiences with custom audiences, right? So this one is ABO, all purchases list, and this is high AOV list. After you get a certain amount of orders, there's no correct number, but basically what I did was export all of the customers' information from Shopify and filtered it by high AOV. And a number for a high AOV for me in this specific store is $120. So I filtered them all out. I threw them into Facebook audiences. And then when I went down to targeting, I said, include these custom audiences, Haven customer list 120 plus, and that's when I exported it. So basically what this does is it suggests Facebook to look at these people, look at this list of people that spent a ton of money on our store, mix that with your pixel and just go find the best people. So I threw that one out there. I threw all purchasers, so everyone that's ever purchased, threw that in a suggestion, which you can see down here, which are off now for a good reason. So I was testing out combinations of them, like high AOV customers with all Facebook purchasers and all purchasers from our website and all add to carts. I was doing a bunch of different combinations to see which one Facebook was picking up on the best and targeting the right people. Overall, landed on the two best ones were really the all purchasers from Shopify as a suggestion and also the high AOV list as a suggestion. And also the high AOV list, which is pretty interesting. If we look at the ROAS, it is doing the best in terms of ROAS, just barely by all purchasers, but it is something to consider. Again, this is probably a little bit later on down the road if you're just a beginner, but if you are scaling a store and you have some orders, it's worth throwing in and testing those audiences to help Facebook and the pixel kind of be guided in the right direction. So that's what I was doing on that front, and you should probably test. You never know when one's gonna go from $70 cost per purchase down to 20 in like 2 days. Another update, quick one that we made, new product launches. We released this product, it sold out super fast. Some other products, some college polo collections also sold out fast, and that directly ties back into the returning customer rate. It's up 13%, which is a great sign because we've launched new products and people come back and buy them. They like the quality, they like the brand, so when you launch a new product, they come back and purchase another one, and that's what makes your business exitable. So we dropped a college collection, only 4 colleges, and they all did really, really well. It was like a $10 cost per purchase on Facebook, and then we pretty much sold out. That's a great sign though. So now we're releasing many more, especially in Q4, different colleges, different types of collections. Every time we drop products on here, it does really well or it sells out. Another thing that we were heavily working on this month and actually going to be outsourcing in the next month here is email marketing. Email marketing is so important. No one talks about email marketing, but it should at least be 30% of your revenue. And the reason behind that is ads are expensive. Facebook ads are expensive, TikTok, Google, whatever it may be, it's so expensive. So when you get people onto your website, they put in their email and they sign up for a discount code and they don't check out or they don't purchase. If you don't have your email campaign set up or anything like that, they just leave, like they're gone forever. So that's been a big focus. You can see here, total revenue was 193. We'll talk about that later in the breakdown, but attributed revenue to email marketing campaigns was 43,000. So 43,000 divided by 188 is about 22% of revenue coming from emails. It's increasing, but we want to get that a little bit higher because it shows that you're a healthy business. This is just industry standard, which I'm going to be putting a ton of focus on. Well, technically not me. Hired my friend Bobby at Retentio, so shout out to him. He's doing all our email marketing for us now because I hate it. So I'm excited for that. And then also the OmniSend migration is currently taking place. So OmniSend is now on our apps. We're doing this for a bunch of different reasons. One is that I think it's way more intuitive versus other providers out there. All the automations and flows that you could possibly need in Ecom are set up for you, essentially. So if you click on automation, like you need like a welcome flow. So we'll click on create workflow, and they've got all the templates for you for whatever you could possibly need. So you need an abandoned cart. Someone goes on your website, puts in their email, and they don't end up purchasing. You want something automatically sent to them. So then you can just click on customize workflow. Makes my life so much easier, or now Bobby's. The industry standard flow is already set up for you with the correct triggers, so people aren't gonna get duplicate emails, all that stuff. You can include SMS, you can change all these, you can add your brand. But the flow and the way you can edit it is just so much easier, and it just takes like all the thinking out of it for you. One of the bigger things is obviously the pricing. Emails can get really expensive, and if you're scaling a store, you probably already know that. So the pricing of OmniSend is pretty enticing compared to all the others out there. But one of the things I'm personally the most stoked for is being able to send a campaign or create one and send it out to Facebook Messenger, SMS, email, all in the same campaign. I'm super stoked to finally start the process of moving everything over. It's gonna save a ton of money. It's gonna make things so much easier. So if you wanna come join me in the switch and save some money, you should check out OmniSend. I'll have it down below in the description. You guys can get a discount, try it for free, whatever you want, just to see exactly what I'm switching over to and why. So now probably what everyone really just cares about is like the profit for the month. Let's break that down. $188,000 in revenue, so let's put that down. Then we have to look at the ad spend. So the ad spend, we need to deduct obviously from the profit, 96,242. Let's do round numbers here, 96,242. Brings us down to $92,000. Then we got to look at the cost of goods sold. So let's go into the finance report here. Cost of goods sold, $36,970. Okay, so now we have to deduct the shipping costs. So using Zendrop's 3PL, super cheap. It's about $5.50 per order shipped out. So if you have 2,049 orders for the month, that comes out to $11,269. Just did that at the top of my head. All right, so $11,269 you gotta subtract as well. All right, so then we have the fees. So Shopify fees, like processing fees, apps, all that stuff you can't really ignore. And that total bill for the month came out to $6,544. So that brings it to $37,381 in profit, but that's actually not it. We need to add some money back into it. So the reason that we need to add some money back in is because there were some returns. There's $6,831 in returns. So if you go into the return section and then click on cost of goods sold for last month, $1,294. So we actually have to add that back in. So that brings the total profit or take home pay for the month, $38,675. If you want to look at that on a yearly basis, it's about 460 grand. Again, with a lot of testing, advertisement spend, inventory issues. So I'm looking to get this up to like the $100,000 to $200,000 a month profit range. But a lot of you guys asked about profit margins. So it'd be 38,675 divided by 188,406. So 20.5% profit margins, which in my eyes is super healthy, especially for doing all paid traffic. Anything above 15 to 20 in my opinion is really good. It's obviously worth it, $38,000 in your pocket. But with paid ads, I would like to get to the 30 to 35% range. And I think that we can do that over the next couple months here once we solve some of the issues essentially and get things scaled back up. All right, so cool, that's the update. Pretty good month, we're getting back on the right track. And so really looking forward to this next quarter to see what kind of revenue we can bring in, what kind of profit, and how much we can scale over the holiday season. So I appreciate you guys for watching. Stay tuned to this series if you've been watching it for a long time. If not, make sure to subscribe. And then also, again, if you want that copy of my store, exact same theme, completely for free, it's down below in the description. Takes like 5 minutes to fill out. And if you guys want additional help, obviously look into Conversion Club, which is our Discord group. We do live coaching calls every single day. All right, cool. Well, I appreciate you guys. And if you're even staying this long to the video, there's a bunch of stuff in boxes everywhere. We're moving in like 4 days. So going out to California again. So you'll probably see me in a different location in the next video. All right, again, thank you guys for watching. Hope this was educational and helped you guys out. I will see you guys later.